All right. Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Monday morning. Hope you all are off to a good week so far. Coming at you live on Instagram, live on Facebook today for Q&A Monday. So something new we started. We would like to see more questions, but I'm sure those will come along as we get going. So today on Q&A Monday, we're going to be talking about the handstand push-up. My name is Alan. I'll be your host today, COO of ICE, faculty member for our fitness athlete division. Big thanks before we start to Therapy Partners of North Texas down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, having Jeff and company down this weekend for lumbar spine management. Big course of about 60 folks learning all about how to better manage back pain. And then out on the West Coast, we had Dustin and Christina out at George Erb Physical Therapy for Modern Management Older Adult Live. Also an awesome course out there. Teaching, again, the deadlift seems to be a common theme this weekend with those courses, but teaching folks how to deadlift, how to get older adults moving, much like they were doing down in the Dallas area. Courses coming up real quick in 2 weeks. So this weekend is Labor Day, so no courses, but right after we're getting right back to it. Jordan is going to be making his debut teaching cervical spine management in Charlotte. That's September 7th and 8th. You can catch Justin up here in Michigan September 14th and 15th for total spine thrust. Mitch and I will be here at home base in Fenton September 21st and 22nd for Fitness Athlete Live. Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum, the next cohort of that starts online Septemment 9th. Modern Management Older Adult online starts September 26th. And then Advanced Concepts Fitness Athlete with Mitch and Zach starts September 29th, also online. So a couple online courses coming up, a couple live courses coming up. So we got a question coming in, a couple questions actually, which is why we decided to do this episode on the handstand push-up. A couple questions about handstand push-up mechanics. Why do we do handstand push-ups? What's functional about it? Issues with folks who are having pain, how to help them with pain with their handstand push-up, and how to address it. So in our fitness athlete course, we don't address the handstand push-up. We cover that in advanced concepts, a more advanced gymnastics move. But once you understand the fundamentals of the press and the range of motion and the strength needed for the strict press, you better understand the handstand push-up. So let's dive in at the start. And why are we doing handstand push-ups, right? If we are into functional movement and fitness, then what the heck is so functional about the handstand push-up, right? Everybody is kind of bought in on squats and deadlifts up until this point, and then when you start to talk about handstand push-ups and handstand walking, and people kind of fall off the tracks, which is understandable, right? What's functional in your life about being up on your hands? So nothing immediately functional, but it tells us a lot about a person. It tells us a lot about their strength, about their coordination, their core strength, their balance, and kind of their range of motion and intrinsic shoulder stability going on when they kick up into that handstand push-up. So we learn a lot about a person by looking at their handstand push-up or lack thereof, right? So let's not forget that it might be a body weight movement. There's my air quote for the day. But when we are inverted, we're pushing our entire body weight overhead. So it requires a lot of strength. It requires a lot of shoulder stability. So although not immediately functional and translatable into our daily tasks, it does tell us a lot about a person's shoulder health overall. And it's not just CrossFit, right? It's not just handstand push-ups and handstand walking and CrossFit, right? If you understand the fundamentals of a good handstand position, of good shoulder mechanics, shoulder strength, shoulder stability, shoulder range of motion, then you can also translate that to helping gymnastics folks. And when we really understand what's going on with the shoulder, we see that folks who have issues with the handstand push-up also tend to have problems with other types of pressing and pulling of the shoulder. So these folks may struggle with horizontal pressing. So they may struggle with regular push-ups with bench press. They may struggle with vertical press, strict press, push jerk, split jerk, snatch, and they may struggle with vertical pull. So they may struggle with a pull-up on the bar. And so we learn a lot from the handstand about what's going on in the shoulder. Does this person not have the range of motion for a handstand? Does this person not have the strength for a handstand? What do we need to get after? And then just talking about the strict handstand push-up, if we talk about the kipping handstand push-up, then we learn a lot more, of course, with the overall kind of neuromotor and balance capacity of the individual as well. And let's not forget, at the end of the day, it's fun, right? Like, it doesn't have to be functional and translate to your job or to everyday life. It can be fun, right? A lot of the things we do, the more advanced gymnastics, are just plain fun, right? It's like big adult kids hanging out, having fun. So handstands are fun to do. Kick up to the wall, do some handstands, do some handstand holds. So let's jump into the first thing I want to address here, which is, should a gym member have a strict handstand before kipping? With the pull-up, we say yes, but with the handstand, we don't really have to, right? Because without that strict strength on board, even if that person can kip, they don't really go anywhere. That person usually struggles to reach lockout at the top because they just don't have that strict shoulder strength to achieve a full handstand push-up, whether they kip it or try to do it strict. So we don't really need to enforce it here, because we are all the way inverted against gravity, because we are pushing our entire body weight up against gravity. We don't really need to enforce the strict before kipping rule here, because most folks won't be able to kip one anyways, right? They're not going to really get into too much trouble, and these are exhausting, right? Somebody that doesn't have the strict strength to do one is not going to be able to really get themselves into too much trouble with kipping before they fatigue and need to come off the wall. So they just have that significantly reduced capacity, but we do need to reinforce the importance of strict strength and getting that strict strength, which will translate into being able to do a full handstand push-up and then be able to string them together and then bring in the kipping as well. And we, just like with the pull-up, we recommend eccentrics. So if that athlete is comfortable kicking up to the wall and working those eccentrics to start to really build that strict handstand push-up capacity. Moving kind of, it's tied intrinsically to this, is those folks who have pain with handstands, what's going on? And so if that person can kick up, then we need to look at their setup position. Remember, if you have a barbell in your hands, you're in a tripod position already with that barbell as you press overhead. That same position we need to be in with our handstand. And as with most motions in human movement, setup is everything. So watch that person kick up. Do they kick up and are they in that comfortable tripod position where their head is closest to the wall and their hands are out in front of them? Or are they trying to press with their hands in line with their ear, right? You would not push a barbell here. You would not push a barbell behind your neck. That would be very uncomfortable, especially for heavy weight. You would push it out in front of you. So make sure that person is in that nice tripod position. Have them practice that position, right? Up into the wall, practicing that tripod position, getting up into that nice tripod position with their head closest to the wall and their hands out in front of them. That's going to be much more comfortable as they press through that handstand than if they're trying to bang through a really uncomfortable range of motion with their hands in line with their head or their hands behind their head. Hand placement. Here, just like with a barbell, just like with a press, with a snatch, with a bench press, the wider you go, the less range of motion you have to do, but the more intrinsically unstable your shoulder is going to be, right? You could do a push-up all the way out here and have to do a very small range of motion, but that's going to be really uncomfortable on your shoulder. So the closer we have our hands in, the more shoulder stability we have. Again, this is where you'll learn a lot about a person and about their shoulder mobility. If they just can't get their hands in tight, they have to go ultra wide, then we need to be working on shoulder range of motion with them. We need to be working on lats or internal rotators or external rotators, whatever you find. If they can't bring their hands in more narrow, if they have to go ultra wide, then we're worried about their shoulder range of motion. So remember, increase in shoulder width is less range of motion, but more instability in the shoulder, and that's where folks can start to develop some pain, especially if they combine that with a weird setup position. They're not in a perfect tripod. If they're ultra wide and in line with their head and trying to do a handstand, they're not going to be very comfortable. They're probably going to have some pain there. So with these folks, I like to have them work a pain-free range of motion here. So I like to have them kick up to the wall. If they can't handle any eccentric, that's fine. We can just do long, static, isometric handstand holds. That's a great way to build strength and also reduce pain here. And then start to play with negatives into some of that range of motion. How far into the range of motion can we do an eccentric before we start to have pain? Once that pain starts to maybe hit a 3, 4, 5 out of 10, then kick down, kick back up, rinse and repeat. That's something I dose out a lot for folks who have pain, shoulder pain, shoulder instability in general, but definitely with the handstand. And then finally, just have these folks work that shoulder mobility. Have them do some eccentric lengthening of the lats. Have them do some eccentric lengthening of the internal rotators. Get that shoulder moving a little bit, especially before they may have handstand push-ups in the workout that day or handstand walking. So make sure you address shoulder mobility. Make sure you address setup position, and make sure you address hand placement. And then really reinforce eccentrics and negatives with these folks to build that strict handstand capacity. And then we can start to bring in the kip and teach the kip, which will just let them do more reps. But we have to make sure that they have that pain-free, strict handstand push-up capacity on board. And then something else besides eccentrics and holds is just having them practice wall walks. Just getting comfortable. This is really great for that athlete who may not be comfortable even kicking up to the wall yet. Just facing away from the wall, walking your legs up the wall, getting your face as close to the wall as you can, really focusing on that lockout position, getting your hands between your shoulders, and then walking back down. That's a great way to build capacity for the handstand, to build comfort being up on your hands. That translates really well into reversing it and kicking up against the wall. So try that for the handstand. Some comments came in, somebody has pain with handstands. This isn't functional. Should I just tell this person to stop doing handstands? No, that's not how we do stuff, right? We don't just avoid stuff that's painful or uncomfortable and never do it again, right? We meet far too many people, patients and PTs included, who stopped running, stopped doing squats, stopped doing deadlifts, stopped exercising in general because they had a little bit of pain or discomfort, and that's no way to live your life. So better understanding the handstand, better understanding what's going on in the shoulder with the handstand will let you help these folks so they can keep doing those handstand push-ups, that handstand walking, and see that translation to some of the other movements as well, the bench press, the push-up, the strict press, jerk, snatch, and pull-up. So try that out. I'm happy to take some more questions on this or rap about it maybe more over on Fitness Athlete Friday, but wanted to address a couple questions we got over the past week about the handstand push-up. So have a great week. I will not be back on this week. I'll be back on next week, so hope you all have a great week. Have a great Labor Day. Don't forget to sign up for Hump Day Hustling. If you haven't yet, ptonice.com, click Hump Day Hustling, click the tab, sign up for our free weekly email newsletter, get a couple of articles, a couple of social media posts curated for you every Wednesday morning in your inbox. And then don't forget to sign up for Virtual Ice, our online mentorship group, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m., $29 a month, 24 CEUs if you do it for a year. Can't beat that deal. Hope to see some of you on there tomorrow night. See some of you tonight for Fitness Athlete Essential Foundations at 8. Otherwise, have a great Monday. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our Virtual Ice online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.